It is Thursday. It's the 23rd of January. I'm Monita Rajpal. This is CNN News Center live from Hong Kong. Our top stories today. Well, Iran's president had the world's attention at Davos, Switzerland today. Hassan Rouhani addressed business and political leaders at the World Economic Forum just a short time ago. He said his country wants to engage constructively with its neighbors. Mr. Rouhani also said elections are the best solution for war-torn Syria. And he insisted that nuclear weapons have no place in Iran's security strategy. Mr. Rouhani elaborated on the nuclear issue when he spoke earlier with Fareed Zakaria. Under a landmark interim deal with world powers, Iran has suspended higher-grade uranium enrichment. The host of CNN's Fareed Zakaria, GPS, sat down with the Iranian leader on Wednesday. Take a listen.
There is a widespread feeling in the United States and France, in many Western countries.
Fareed Zakaria joins us now live from Davos. Fareed, good to see you. Thank you for being with us. When you sat down with the Iranian president, also notably after his address today at the World Economic Forum, what do you think was his the most significant message from his speech?
Well, the most significant message from the speech was certainly that Iran wants to be a more integrated member of the global community.
On that, Fareed, thank you very much for that. We look forward to seeing that interview in its entirety in a few days. Fareed Zakaria there, live for us from Davos in Switzerland. Now, a news report says Syrian peace talks are to take place behind closed doors today. UN Special Envoy Lakhdar Brahimi reportedly will meet with the two parties separately to assess whether they are still willing to meet on Friday. And that's when Syrian government representatives and opposition delegates talk in Switzerland. The fighting does go on in Syria, and the government is trying to show it is gaining ground against the rebels. Western journalists have been allowed into Aleppo for the first time in nearly a year. CNN's Fred Pleitgen was among them. The leader of al-Qaeda has a new message on the Syrian conflict. Ayman al-Zawahiri is urging militants in Syria to stop fighting one another and unite. We're watching CNN News Center live from Hong Kong. Final warning, a tense wait after protesters tell Ukraine's leader. We're watching CNN News Center live from Hong Kong. I'm Monita Rajpal. Heated words from behind a wall of fire. This is the scene in Kiev right now, where demonstrators have set up a flaming barricade to keep police at bay. Diana Magne joins us now live from Kiev. And Diana, give us an idea of how things are looking right now.
Well, the clashes are still going on, but not on anything like the kind of level.
4 anti-corruption activists have gone on trial in China. It comes a day after the high-profile hearing of Xu Xiong. He's the founder of the New Citizens Movement, which called on government officials and the wealthy elite to disclose their assets. Xu's lawyer says he does not know when the verdict will be announced, but he believes his client will be found guilty. A Mexican national has been put to death by the U.S. state of Texas. Edgar Tamayo was convicted of the 1994 murder of a Houston police officer. His supporters say he was denied access to his consulate when he was arrested. The Mexican government tried to block the execution, saying it violates international law. The Central African Republic's new interim president will be sworn in today. She's Catherine Samba-Panza, whose election has led to hopes for an end to months of violence between Christians and Muslims. The UN says 2,000 people have died and around 1 million have been made homeless. Now to a disturbing case in India. A young woman says she was gang raped, and she says her alleged attackers were ordered to do it. Sumnima Udas joins us now on the phone from New Delhi with more on this. Sumnima, what more do we know about this case?
Monita, at the moment, we know very little. All we know is that a 20-year-old tribal...
Thank you for that. Sumnima Udas reporting to us there on the phone from New Delhi. You are watching CNN News Center live from Hong Kong. Looking at their scenes of people here in Hong Kong getting ready to welcome the Year of the Horse. This photo is part of our We're watching CNN News Center live from Hong Kong. Now, Russia will be hoping its Winter Olympics will be the most successful games ever, but it's been up against some really tough criticism, from its sky-high running costs to the treatment of its gay community, and more recently, concerns it hasn't done enough to counter terrorist threats. CNN's Nick Payton-Walsh joins us now live from Sochi with more on that. Nick?
Monita, the key question, I think, many long-time observers of southern Russia
Walsh reporting to us there from Sochi. Bitter cold has set in Eastern Europe, and Mari Ramos is at the World Weather Center with more on that. Mari?
Hey, Monita, I want to tell you about this because we've been talking for weeks through Christmas. And
All right, Mari, thank you very much. At least it makes for pretty pictures, I have to say. You have to be very careful, but the pictures are pretty amazing. Mari, thank you very much. We're still 2 months away from Major League Baseball's opening day, but the New York Yankees are making headlines. They've signed 25-year-old Japanese pitcher Masahiro Tanaka to a $155 million contract. That is the highest ever for an Asian-born player. Well, his performance is pretty impressive. Tanaka was undefeated last season, leading his team to the Japanese Series Championship. You are watching CNN News Center. I'm Monita Rajpal at CNN Hong Kong. Thank you for joining us. I'll update you the news headlines in just a few minutes.